Coming up on Husky Mag, we take a look at the last 2 weeks filled with Husky athletics.
A lot of teams were in action at home and on the road. We'll let you know how they did on today's episode.
Husky Mag starts right now. Welcome everyone to this week's edition of Husky Mag. I'm Sam Getzinger, and alongside of me today is Miles Nelson.
It's good to be here. We have a lot of action to catch up on as the hockey teams and men's basketball look to defend home turf and also find out how other Huskies did on the road this past weekend.
Well, Miles, let's get into the action, starting on the ice with men's hockey. The red-hot men's hockey team was home this past weekend against the Beavers from Bemidji State. Let's start with the first game of the series on Friday. Things got going early as Jimmy Schultz would deliver a huge slap shot from the point. A great save was made, and Easton Brodzinski would collect the rebound goal, or so we thought. The rest would take this one to the review booth and call it off. And then just like that, we're back to ground zero. Brodzinski would have a second chance, though, halfway through the first period as he deposited a beautiful tip-in goal with the assist coming from Ryan Paling. From there, both sides would have plenty of scoring opportunities, but defense and goaltending was the name of the game as no goals were scored for the rest of the first half and all of the second period by either side. The Huskies were able to ice the contest, though, as sophomore Kevin Fitzgerald would send in an empty net goal from a little beyond center ice to seal the deal over a tough-fighting Beaver squad. Jeff Smith got the call for SESU, putting up very impressive game-stopping numbers, stopping all 32 shots from Bemidji's offense, and Henry Johnson was in net for BSU as he would hold the high-powered Husky offense, stopping 18 of 19 shots, but it just wasn't enough as St. Cloud State would take Game 1 by a score of 2-0 at the Herb Brooks National Hockey Center. The next day, Bemidji State would come back to the Herb, and unlike Game 1, offense was key for both teams. A familiar face was in net against St. Cloud State as former Husky Zach Driscoll got the start for the Beavers. He would struggle as the Huskies started the scoring midway through the first period, with the captain Jimmy Schultz taking a stroll down center ice and firing a heavy wrister to put SESU on the board. The Beavers would respond almost instantly with a sloppy turnover by the Huskies, and freshman Nick Cardelli would send one into the back of the net to tie it up at 1 apiece. The Huskies would then take control and demand the rest of the first, starting with an amazing goal by Kevin Fitzgerald as he bats the puck out of midair into the net to beat Driscoll 15 minutes into the period. Patrick Newell would tack on another one a couple minutes later, showing some great hand-eye coordination of his own by smacking it down and sliding it past Driscoll. Moving into the second period, Robbie Jackson would deliver his third goal of the year with an absolute snipe on the sharpest angle you might ever see. After that goal, the night was over for Driscoll as Jack Burgert would take over from there. The Beavers would rally in the second, putting up 2 consecutive goals to tighten the gap at 4-3. John Lazat would shut down Bemidji's hopes in the second, flinging a wrist shot from the blue line to beat the Beavers' netminder. Jumping into the final period of play with the Huskies up 5-3, Kevin Fitzgerald would throw on another goal into the net, adding on to his dominating weekend against BSU. St. Cloud State wasn't done as Jimmy Schultz would notch his second of the game to put the Huskies to 7 goals on the night. SCSU captures the sweep against Bemidji with a final score of 7-4 at the Herb Brooks National Hockey Center. David Rennick got the call on this night, stopping 16 of 20 shots to propel the Huskies to another win. Taking a look at the USCHO rankings, we see a new face sitting atop at number 1, and it so happens to be our own. The Huskies take control of the top spot with an impressive 11-1 overall record. First team to reach that 11-win mark in all of college hockey. The Huskies are almost at that 1,000-point mark as well on the season already, and that's very impressive. In at number 2 is the previous number 1 ranked team, the Bulldogs from the University of Minnesota Duluth, coming in with a 9-2-1 record, but their loss to Denver didn't help them out one bit. UMass passes MSU Mankato for number 3 with an 11-1 overall record. As we mentioned, the Mavericks are in at number 4 with an overall record of 10-2 and 843 points in the poll. The Buckeyes from Ohio State and the Nittany Lions from Penn State coming at 5-6, and NCHC rival Denver is sitting at the 7th spot with a 7-3-2 record and 727 points on the season so far. Notre Dame and Quinnipiac hold down the 8 and 9 spots in the national polls, and coming in at number 10 is the Providence Friars at 7-4-2. Moving from the USCHO poll to the NCHC conference standings, we see our own Huskies at the top again with an undefeated 4-0 conference ranking and 12 points in the NCHC. The UMD Bulldogs are second on this poll as well with a 3-1 conference record and 9 points in the conference play, but they aren't the only ones with 9 points in the NCHC, as Denver, Miami, and Western Michigan all have 9 points and a 3-3 conference record. Behind that cluster is Nebraska-Omaha with 6 points and a 2-2 record. And down in the hole is the struggling Fighting Hawks from North Dakota and Colorado College, both with only 3 points in NCHC play. Well, Miles, the number 1 ranked Huskies would not be at the top of the polls if it weren't for their group of new freshman talent on the squad. For more, here's Husky Mag's Nick Speliopoulos with the story.
Of a new season means a fresh group of freshmen.
You know, I've just noticed a group of guys that are very poised under pressure. They're stepping into big-time situations, whether it's Nick Perbix on the power play, whether it's Noah Walker on the power play, Hench is playing on the top line, Bushy and Meyer and some of those guys playing minutes against other teams' top players. They don't seem to get rattled. They've got a lot of confidence. They fit into our team culture for sure.
For these freshmen, fitting into said culture has quickly translated to scoring success.
And now this year, we've got a very talented team, but the freshmen are there. They're playing on top lines, they're playing the top defensive core, and they're a big part of our impressive start.
Well, I mean, you can already see Henches with a hat trick in the 4th or 5th game. Nolan Walker lit it up in Alaska, which is good to see because it's his hometown. But yeah, you can just see, I guess, just the confidence, and they're playing like they're upperclassmen already.
Through their impressive start, these freshmen have remained humble.
It was a great game by us. I think my line mates were a big part of that. Robbie and Ryan Paling, they made some great plays to me.
It was awesome. My teammates, my line mates Blake and Newsy are great. And every time I'm open, they hit me, and they just made great plays to me. I just had to put it into over nets.
Coach Larson thinks this group is playing beyond their years.
So they've just been I don't want to say a great surprise because we knew they were good players, but the surprise has been how well they've been able to handle big-time pressure situations early.
Husky fans can look forward to the years to come.
Hockey is a confidence-based sport, so when you have that already and you're not even 2 months into your college career, they're going to do great things for this program.
The number 1 Huskies took this last weekend off to rest up before they head out to Ohio to play the now unranked Miami Redhawks. The Huskies will look to continue their 6-game winning streak and keep a perfect conference record inside the NCHC. The Redhawks are currently 3-3 in the NCHC, having split series with Nebraska-Omaha, the University of North Dakota, and Colorado College. They're 9-6-1 overall after tying and losing to the New Hampshire Wildcats this past weekend, which bumped them from their spot at number 19 in the USCHO poll. Puck drop for the Huskies will be at 6:35 p.m. Friday, November 30th and 6:05 on Saturday, December 1st in Ohio. And staying on the ice, the St. Cloud women's hockey team suffered a heartbreaker last Saturday versus the University of Minnesota in an overtime loss. The Huskies came into the weekend 4-9-1 versus a 9-2-1 Gophers squad leading the WCHA. The game started off with the Gophers finding the net first after Kelly Panic scored 2.5 minutes in. The Huskies equalized the game at 1 apiece when Brooke Kaderka scored in the second period, and that's how it would remain heading into the third. 2 minutes in, the third freshman Yanina Newland picked up her 4th goal of the season to take the lead to 2-1. The Gophers responded with 2 goals in 4 minutes from Abigail Boreen and Sarah Potomac, and with less than 2 minutes to go in the game, senior Hannah Petroikis tied the game to send it to OT. 3 minutes in, Minnesota freshman forward Taylor Heiss got a breakaway and scored to win the game for the Gophers. The second game of the series would see the Huskies hit the road to play at Ritter Arena on the University of Minnesota campus, looking to redeem the loss from Friday night. However, the Gophers set the tone, scoring 4 goals in the first period alone. The goals came from senior Nicole Schammel, freshman Katie Skaja, and sophomore Grace Zumwinkle. She picked up 2. The Huskies responded with seconds left in the first when senior Suvi Olakainen picked up her first score of the season. The second period saw junior forward Brooke Kaderka send another one between the pipes 12 minutes in to cut the Gopher lead in half. However, the Gophers would finish out the game with 3 more goals to pick up the win 7-2. The series kept the Gophers at the top of the WCHA standings with an 11-2-1 record and dropped the Huskies to a 4-11-1 season line. The Lady Huskies did get a preview of their next opponent in this year's special U.S. Hockey Hall of Fame game in Brainerd versus the Bemidji State Beavers. Last Tuesday, the teams hit the ice, and the Huskies hardly looked like a team coming off just a day of rest, picking up a win in the exhibition game. Junior Hallie Theodosopoulos got the action started with a goal barely a minute into the game, and the score would hold at 1-0 until the second period. Senior Julia Tilke picked up her 7th goal of the year at the start of the second period, and that's how it would remain until 3 minutes to go in the third frame when Ivy Dynick scored her first goal of the season to finish off the game 3-0. The Huskies were given an award as the U.S. Hockey Hall of Fame Museum Face-Off Classic Women's Champions. The women's team will rest up until November 30th when they hit the road to play Bemidji in regular season WCHA play. And moving to the standings in the WCHA, the Minnesota Golden Gophers sit at the top of the rankings with 28 total conference points and a 9-2-1 conference record. Close behind are the Wisconsin Badgers and Ohio State Buckeyes, tied at 21 conference points and each with 7 conference wins. The 4th spot is taken by the UMD Bulldogs, sitting at a 3-6 conference record. And then the Minnesota State Mavericks, Bemidji State Beavers, and St. Cloud State Huskies round out the WCHA, each with 2 conference wins and looking to turn their seasons around and jump into the top half of the conference. Looking to the future, the women's hockey team will be traveling upstate to face the Bemidji State Beavers for a 2-game series as they look to pick up wins in WCHA play. The Huskies will look to take the energy they brought against the Gophers in the first game of the series with them, as the Beavers are coming off consecutive losses to the University of Wisconsin Badgers last weekend and the Huskies. The Huskies and Beavers sit at number 6 and 7 in the conference, and wins here will give either team the hope they need for better seeding in the WCHA tournament at the end of the season. The Huskies and Beavers drop the puck at 6:07 Friday, November 30th, and 3:07 Saturday, December 1st at the Sanford Center.
Coming up after the break, we see how the Huskies did on the hardwood at home and on the road.
Don't go anywhere. Husky Mag will be right back.
What do you think you're doing, Kevin?
Was just gonna drive home.
There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
Like hearing voices?
Like your text-to-emoji ratio?
Oh man, the selfies.
Selfie, nailed it. We all have warning signs that let us know that we're probably not okay to drive. Mine is pretending to be your subconscious.
Craig, come on man, let's split a ride home.
The women's basketball team packed up their gear and went on the road to Central Washington for their tournament over the weekend. The Huskies opened up action on Friday against undefeated Central Washington University, and things didn't go as hoped for St. Cloud State. The Lady Huskies trailed the whole game against the Wildcats as they just could not get past the lights-out shooting from Central Washington. They went nearly 60% from the field and 47% from deep, and for SCSU, the shooting woes continued as they went 23% from 3 and 42% from the field. Madeline Dahman continued her impressive season-leading all St. Cloud scores with 16 points, going 2 for 2 from the arc and 7 of 11 from the field. Freshman Katrina Tice was not far behind, posting a career-high 13 points, shooting 67% from the field, also tacking on 2 steals and a block for the Huskies. Mally Doucette and Tori Wertz both posted 9 points in the losing effort for SCSU. St. Cloud State drops this one to the Wildcats 74-67 to start the road trip. The following day, on Saturday, the women's basketball team was back in action in Central Washington, this time going against Concordia University from Oregon. This time it was the Huskies' turn to outshoot their opponent as they made 24-31 from the free throw line and shot 36% from three and the field during the game. For the second time this season, Mally Doucette came off the bench to lead the team in points, this time posting 19 points, shooting 30% from three and going 8 for 10 from the free throw line. Junior Madeline Dahman added 16 of her own, shooting an impressive 42% from the field. Along with her, Tori Wartz put up 12 points in her 23 minutes of play. And let's not forget about 6'2" sophomore forward Nikki Kilbotton, who was just 2 rebounds away from her first double-double of the young season, as she had 10 points and 8 rebounds. The Huskies take this one 66-55 over Concordia University and split the weekend set on the road in Washington to move their overall record to 2-1 on the season. And not just that, the Lady Huskies were not done in the month of November, and they ended the action-packed month on a high note against Northland College. Scoring came in bunches for SESU as everyone who stepped on the court for the Huskies managed to put up at least 2 points against the Lumberjacks. Freshman Katrina Tice led the way, matching a career high set earlier this week with 13 points, going 6 for 8 from the field and adding on 4 rebounds in only 12 minutes of play. Sophomore guard Tori Wartz contributed 11 points of her own, going 4 for 8 from the field and having an explosive night from deep, making 3 of 5 shots. Other notable Huskies in the rout over the Lumberjacks was Madeline Dahman, adding on 10 points. The St. Cloud State Huskies roll all over the Northland College Lumberjacks by a final score of 97-29. This was the first time since 2011 the Huskies have held any opponent under 30 points. Coming up next for the Huskies, they stay at home at Hollenbeck Hall to face the University of Minnesota Duluth Bulldogs. This will be the first time this season that these two face a matchup and is set to be an interesting game between the two rivals.
On Saturday, the Huskies were at home and had their first taste of NSIC competition this season, and it was an absolute thriller at Hollenbeck Hall as MSU and SESU would battle it out and send this game into overtime. Both teams were projected to win their respective sides of the NSIC, and it showed in this one as the Huskies jumped out to a 36-30 lead. The Huskies would then fold in the second half to the Mavericks as Minnesota State would outscore St. Cloud 39-33 to send the ballgame into overtime. From there, the Mavs would jump out firing on all cylinders in OT as they jumped out to an early lead. The Huskies would muscle back a little bit but fall just short by a final score of 80-77. Leading the way for St. Cloud was senior Gage Davis, posting another double-double with 28 points and 13 rebounds. Behind him, Bradley Tyson put up 18 points in the losing effort for St. Cloud, and another key contributor was Sean Smith with 12 points and 9 rebounds and a school record of 8 blocks for the Huskies. The Huskies didn't have time to shop on Black Friday as they took their talented squad to Point Loma, California to play in the Point Loma Thanksgiving Classic versus Seattle Pacific University. The game would see senior Sean Smith step up and pick up 25 points to help the Huskies win 77-69. The game started off slowly for the Cardinal in Black, who trailed by 4 heading into halftime. However, Coach Matt Reimer's team came out swinging in the second half, going on a 15-2 run to take the lead, and they would keep it for the rest of regulation. Sean Smith also picked up a team-high 7 rebounds and 6 blocks. Fellow senior Gage Davis and junior Trevon Marshall each tallied 13 points to help the team to a 4-1 start to the season. That's the best start in the last 4 years for the Huskies, so big stuff. And the Huskies would finish their road trip to California perfect as they picked up their second win in the Point Loma Thanksgiving Classic on Saturday versus the Point Loma Sea Lions. The number 16 team in Division II basketball would continue their hot start to the season as they won 74-65 over the tournament hosts. The action was close early on until senior Brinley Tyson made 3 straight threes and standout Gage Davis got going with successful jumpers to take a 9-point lead. Heading into the half, the Sea Lions managed to chip away at their deficit to a mere 4 points, but St. Cloud would have none of it as the second half got going. Seniors Jace Kitchen, Sean Smith, and Gage Davis all contributed to a scoring run that put the Huskies ahead once and for all. Davis led the day with 21 points, and Kitchen scored a career-high 16.
Very impressive day from both of them.
Absolutely. And Gage Davis has been a standout star so far this season for the Huskies. In just 6 games that the Huskies have played, he's racked up 120 points in 205 minutes on the hardwood, averaging 20 points per game. He's shooting 50% from inside the arc and 35% from beyond. He leads the team in rebounds with 48, picking up 33 of them on defense and 15 offensively. And Davis is also spreading the ball around somehow too, picking up 14 assists while being the leading scorer for the Huskies. And coming up next, the Huskies will be taking on the Bulldogs from the University of Minnesota Duluth as they kick off NSIC play on Saturday, December 1st. The Bulldogs are currently 3-1 heading into the contest and looking to jockey for the top of the NSIC with the Huskies, who are coming off back-to-back wins in California. The Bulldogs will have not played for nearly 2 weeks going into the game and will look to slow down a red-hot Husky team looking to stay in the NCAA rankings. Tip-off will be at 4 o'clock in Hollenbeck Hall.
After the break, we take a look at how the Huskies did on the mat and in the water.
Husky Mag will be right back.
Another summer day has come and gone away from Paris and Rome, but I wanna go home. Oh, I miss you, you know. Let me go home. It'll all be alright. I'll be home tonight. I'm coming back home.
The #1 ranked wrestling team in all of Division II had its first taste of dual action last Thursday night against number 21 ranked Chadron State from Nebraska. The points came early for the Huskies as Brett Velasquez won the first match of the night by pinfall at 125 pounds. Garrett Vos followed up with 5-0 decision at the 133 weight class to put the Huskies up 9-0. After 2 matches, SDSU extended their lead to 14 with a 16-1 tech fall provided by Travis Swanson at 141. The Eagles would cut into the lead a tiny bit as Chase Clayson from Chadron would defeat the #1 ranked 149-pounder in all of Division II, James Pileski. James Barzowski would increase the Husky lead by adding on 6 more points at 157, and St. Cloud State pushed the lead to 23-3, courtesy of an 11-4 decision at 165 from Devin Fitzpatrick. Colton Ishins tacked on 3 more points for SESU, winning his match at the 174 weight class. Riley Vanek and Vince Dietz would win their respective matches at 184 and 197 as well. Chadron State would win the final match of the night in the heavyweight division. Rulon Taylor would pin Zach Muller 1 minute and 44 seconds into the match to round out the night. But those points would not matter as the Huskies start out their season undefeated, and they knocked off the 21 ranked Eagles demandingly, 36-9. The wrestling team would return to action that following Saturday to compete in the Finn Greeniker Open at Concordia College in Moorhead. The Huskies picked up 2 first-place finishes in the gold division, with top-ranked Vince Dietz winning at 197 pounds with a 5-2 decision over University of North Dakota wrestler Cole Witzig. In the 165-pound weight class, Devin Donovan won his title match with a matching 5-2 decision over Augustana wrestler Jackson Sweeney. Brandon Briggs placed second at 125 pounds with a 2-2 record in the tournament, and in the 285-pound weight class, Bradley Reichstadt also took second. In the maroon division, freshman Eric Halverson placed first at 141 pounds, and second-place finishes were picked up by Josh Velasquez at 149, freshman Boone Julio at 157, and Hunter Grau at 174. And up next for the #1 wrestling roster in Division II will be a trip to Southwest Minnesota State, where they will look to find success once again and continue to make their case as the best team in the country. The Mustangs are looking to put their wrestlers in position to pick up top spots, but will have a tough battle as even the freshmen on this St. Cloud State roster are picking up wins and impressing. Not to mention the seniors, who are looking to keep their reputation from the last 4 seasons going with a win in southern Minnesota. The Huskies hit the mat in Marshall at 7 p.m. on Thursday, November 29th.
Well, Miles, great job by the top wrestling team in the country, but both men's and women's swim and dive team were in action as well for Senior and Parent Day at Hollenbeck Hall. We'll start by taking a look at the men's side of things. David Clossy came in with a time of 10 minutes and 21 seconds in the 1,000-meter freestyle and 5 minutes on the dot for the 500-meter freestyle. Joel Huth posted a time of 1 minute and 44 seconds and 47 seconds in the 200 and 100-meter freestyle. Anthony Schwartz had himself a day, coming in with a time of 51 seconds for the 100-meter backstroke, 1 minute and 55 seconds for the 200-meter back, and a time of 2 minutes for the 200 individual medley. Rob Lay swam in with a 1 minute time and 58 seconds, I should add, for the 200-meter fly. Joel Huth finished with a 100-meter freestyle race and a time of 47 seconds, and Kyle Weiss finished things off with the 100-meter fly and a time of 52.96 seconds. They would go on to win their first meet of the year by a commanding score of 219-80. The men's Husky swim and dive team are now 1-6 on the season. And while the men were showing dominance on their end, the women were doing the same at the Aquatic Center in Hollenbeck Hall. Elizabeth Mitchell started things off, coming in with an impressive time at 11 minutes and 12 seconds for the 1,000-yard freestyle competition. Jen Thompson helped out with a time of 1 minute and 58 seconds in the 200-yard freestyle and 53 seconds during the 100-yard Meteor Free for SESU. Annie Hart swam 2 events and put up a time of 58 seconds for the 100-yard backstroke and 2 minutes in the 200-yard backstroke. Other women swimmers in action were Christilly McCadden, participating in the 200-yard butterfly, and 500-yard freestyle races, and Brooke Calvin posted a time of 2 minutes and 16 seconds for the 200-yard individual medley for St. Cloud State. Just like the men, the women dominated in their meet against Eau Claire by a score of 223-77. The women advanced their record to 4-6 overall in the regular season. Coming up next for both the men's and women's swim and dive team, they pack up again and head on the road down south to Rochester for the Rochester Invite for a 3-day bout from November 30th to December 2nd. All the action will be held at the Rochester Recreation Center.
After the break, we're going to wrap up Husky Mag with the leader of the pack and Blizzard's best.
Don't go anywhere. Husky Mag will be right back.
But I'm searching for a
Got a quarter?
Be sure to follow our Twitter page at HuskyMag_UTVS for the latest and breaking news for Husky sports and in-game updates, along with so much more.
And now, this week's leader of the pack is no other than Jimmy Schultz for his performance against Bemidji State this past weekend. He was 1 goal away from the hat trick on Saturday when he scored 2 goals, and he also helped the team against Denver University when he racked up 2 assists for the Huskies to add to his season total. He is 5th on the Huskies in goals scored this year. Congrats to Captain Jimmy on the great weekend sweep, and you and the Huskies enjoy your week off.
And now, Miles, it's time for my favorite part of the show, and that's Blizzard's Best. Let's hop right into the action with number 3, and here we see senior Robbie Jackson coming in with, as we mentioned before, probably the sharpest angle you could probably think of, and delivering an absolute snipe of a shot pass. Former Husky Zach Driscoll, who was in net for the Beavers at number 2, coming in for Blizzard's Best is Bemidji State. They were on the prowl on Friday against Jeff Smith, but he does a great job slamming the door against the Beavers en route to his shutout with the right pad for St. Cloud State. Great job by him and an impressive season he's putting up as well. In at number 1 is Kevin Fitzgerald, and nobody told him baseball season wasn't for a couple of months, as he's already practicing his soft toss, batting this one by Zach Driscoll in Game 2 on Saturday of the series. Great job by him and the rest of the Huskies to take the sweep against Bemidji State.
And with that, that's all the time we have here on Husky Mag.
Be sure to join us same time, same place next week here on UTVS. Have a great night, everyone.